These are the 5 supplements that I think everyone should take, but especially vegans. I'm Colton. I'm a personal trainer and plant-based nutrition coach, and I've been vegan for 20 years. Almost. Not quite. I'm coming up on 20 years. Don't hold it against me. These are the supplements that I personally take. So I'm not a doctor, but I do think that everyone should take these supplements. First one is B12. Nobody's surprised here. You've probably heard a lot about B12. We're not going to get into that today. All I'm going to tell you is that everybody needs B12 and they should probably supplement with it because we live in an industrialized culture and it's hyper sanitized and it's kind of impossible to know how much B12 you're getting through your diet. It's better just to get it as a supplement. And it's also probably not harmful to take too much because B12 is water soluble, which means that if you take too much, your body will process it and you will just pee it out. I take 2,000 micrograms of B12 a week, which sounds like a lot because it's way higher than the recommended daily allowance, but that's okay because it's water soluble. And I think that it's probably good to be getting much more than the recommended daily allowance. Second one is vitamin D3. So vitamin D3 is just a version of vitamin D, the other one being vitamin D2. Vitamin D3 just seems to be the more bioavailable version of vitamin D. So that's the one that I take. Vitamin D is the sunshine vitamin. Your body makes it when your skin comes in contact with the sun. But there's a lot of variables here. Basically, the darker the skin you have, the less vitamin D production you're going to have. Whether you're wearing sunscreen, what you are wearing, what latitude you live at, if it's cloudy. Yeah, there's so many variables here that it's also maybe just best to supplement. Unfortunately, vitamin D is not water soluble. It's not like B12, so you do have to take care that you do not take too much vitamin D. With that said, I take about 1,000 to 2,000 international units a day. That may be too much for some people. You're gonna have to figure it out, talk to your doctor about it, see what's right for you. That's what I take. Number 3 is DHA, EPA. DHA and EPA are 2 forms of omega-3 fatty acid, the other form being ALA, or alpha-linoleic acid. Alpha-linoleic acid is the one that's more commonly found in plant foods. DHA, EPA you find in marine sources, so algae and animals that eat algae. That's why there's a lot of omega-3s, in certain marine animals like salmon. Alpha-linoleic acid, however, you're going to find in flaxseed, chia seed, hemp seed, walnuts, and there's a ton of it in there. But here's the problem. It doesn't convert very well. Your body converts a certain amount of ALA, or alpha-linoleic acid, into DHA and EPA, but the conversion rate is really low. It's like 5% to 15%, 50% if you are really lucky. So while I do think that you should eat flax seeds and chia seeds and things like that every day, I also think that you should take a DHA EPA supplement. And I take about 500 milligrams to 1,000 milligrams a day of an algae oil or algal oil DHA EPA supplement. Fourth supplement I want to talk about is creatine. Creatine, I think, is the world's most studied supplement. It's got a ton of research done on it. And it's very safe despite its association with bodybuilding and steroid use. That seems to be the assumption. But there's more and more studies coming out all the time about its safety and its effectiveness. Basically, creatine aids the body in ATP production, and ATP being adenosine triphosphate, which is the energy source that all living beings use. So basically, supplementing with creatine will provide you with more energy, and that will have a bunch of downstream effects. You will be stronger, faster. You will be able to work out longer, more often. You'll probably recover faster. Also, there's this cool side effect of creatine where it gives you a sick pump because it causes some amount of water retention in your muscles. So when I first started taking creatine, I ended up with about 5 more pounds of lean muscle mass in like a couple months. It was really dramatic. That's a ridiculous amount of lean muscle mass to put on. It was probably mostly water, but it did make me much stronger too. I take about 5 grams a day of creatine monohydrate. Fifth supplement is a multivitamin. I know, that's basically, I'm cheating here, but There's a few other nutrients that are important to focus on. They're hard to get in your diet, more so than other nutrients. Selenium, iron, zinc, calcium, iodine, they're all crucial and you may not be getting enough of them, but they are found in certain foods. So selenium is in Brazil nuts, iron is in certain vegetables like leafy greens, also in legumes, zinc is in pumpkin seeds, calcium in greens and seeds, iodine in seaweed. But here's the caveat too. We don't want you to get too much of this stuff. So don't just gorge yourself on Brazil nuts. You want to get the right amount. And so sometimes taking a multivitamin is just a better idea because it's going to give you an amount that you can look at and you can say, oh, okay, yeah, 40 micrograms. That's great. And I'm not religious about taking my multivitamin. I often break it in half and just take half of it. Sometimes I forget to take it. And the reason why I do those things is because I often eat Brazil nuts. I often eat seaweed. I often eat greens and nuts, things that contain these nutrients. So I'm just trying to make sure that I get enough of those nutrients, not too much, and my multivitamin is just an insurance policy. Regardless, I think you should consider a multivitamin, especially one formulated for vegans that has these nutrients of focus in the right amounts. Okay, so in summary, here's what I take. I take B12. I take 2,000 micrograms a week, 1,000 on Monday, 1,000 on Thursday. I take D3 every day, 1,000 to 2,000 international units. I take DHA EPA every day, 500 to 1,000 milligrams. I take creatine monohydrate, 5 grams per day. And I take a multivitamin, 1/2 or 1 multivitamin a day that contains selenium, iodine, calcium, iron, zinc, those nutrients. So that's it. Hope this helps. Like and subscribe if you want to see more content related to plant-based nutrition and fitness. Thank you. Bye.